Doing some. I'm up. Right on target. No late, early, no late. No late at all. Ups. Sheldon. Empress. Big up. Freedom. Yeah, man. We're for sure the correct condition, Yeah, Audrey. Yeah, man. Played. Yeah, man. Pat TV. Gloria. Invest. Yeah, man. Remat Linton. Duffus HD. Yeah, man. Big up. All right, so this now. As we come in on this now, we're focused on the Commissioner of Police, Sir GUGU Gaga, and the amount of money he might get. I'm going to ask something, I'm going to read something else too. With the MP, and the money with them collect, I'm going to know how them rich up. Come on, I read out that too. But GUGU will get the most money out of this police thing when, a baby in the police thing, it hurt me. I'm going to say, we are paying $18 million for. Because me think of, you say if it was a man that beat on foot, when him come through and him push through the whole of that struggle is done, then him sit down in the seat, it no bother me. But the man is not doing no work. So him more get 18 million when crime turn up, doing nothing. If you just come make a speech, but the speech make no sense. No care who give him a speech, him go off a script. Them a try straighten him up on the other day because they know me and watch him. So let me just start with this and then I'm going to some video and straighten make no sense. With $18 million man, remember me used about $6 million man from the 70s. $18 million man, no worth it. You understand? And them a chat them foolishness in the paper. A matter of fact, them they try to keep it away from the public. Can you imagine you have a country? You have here the police commissioner. More than even the prime minister get paid. Y'all double up in pay because you get less than 9 million. And you double it up. And the one of them I get less, because you see, even MP where I work like $300,000 per month. Them have gas station, the amount of apartments and the amount of things. When them look on someone and talk about them and smuggle drugs and things, I don't know how them get rich and how them have so much thing. I don't know how them have so much thing. The one them will just jump in a politics and get rich. Where as a junglist? Empress, big up yourself. Beverly, big up yourself. So we could jump on Sir GUGU now and then make a zero in pam the money what we have here. Because me if he say you should have get the beat and foot man them this. I only we are chat what now. Only we are chat for. GUGU a foolishness. I want to tell him that. This a foolishness. Government can't hold we can't hold we a stitch with a baby. And nipple back we are talking about on here, so. It's a joke. Yeah man. Let me play this. Play this.
I want to talk now. Commissioner GUGU Gaga tax predecessors with $18 million salary package. Right?
18 million.
2021. See the GUGUs there? See the GUGUs. Alright? I'm going to say what I want to know. That's what's the package. The Office of the Service Commission, OSC, has reversed its position and released the contract of Police Commissioner Major GUGU Gaga, which shows the top cop with an $18 million annual salary package. 18 million. So in a chain not doing nothing. Man them beat on foot. Them do the work. Okay. The OSC additionally the newspaper access to information request for the document on the basis of privacy.
So all you have privacy in the police in where public is a public affairs thing. Our taxpayers' money around. It's not a private entity. You request something from. You talk the police now, the agency of the government that serve the people of Jamaica. And you say privacy. What kind of privacy them have? Just take on and just get away stuff. All that of foolishness. So them reverse that because them come under pressure.
It should be privacy when there's a police commissioner. And this is not a, private contract. A taxpayer.
All right, so we could get to it. Come on, get to GUGU over pay for 18 million, GUGU more and Because you should have stepped down by me do this, you should have stepped down. Me rather pay apps them and pay invest and pay some other police and beat and football do the police work. Some good money. You know, because them do the work, you sit down in a air condition unit. Me hear second-hand smoke say the commissioner now put him on in a day-to-day running at the JCF. So just sit down and them brief you. And when them brief you, if something look too big, then you fly out, come talk. And I get them pay. Your car allowance alone bigger than enough for the man them they see him look a constable them salary. Just watch this.
The OSC had initially denied the paper access to information requests for documents on basis of privacy, but faced significant public pushback, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness and transparency advocate declaring that the public had the right to the information. But already early reaction from national security interests suggests that the former military leader may be underpaid for...
Maybe underpaid. Me never want to hear about them. Because them tell about the crime where commit. Maybe be underpaid, you know. Underpaid. After you take up him pay from 13 million and push it and ram it up, gone up there so. I'm going to show you where I get paid for. You understand? Maybe him underpaid. For the crime, they're going to tell about the crime situation in Jamaica. And the crime, but let's listen to the crime what they matter about, because I don't see them do nothing about crime. And okay, what government money what them say them do, they must spend. Them not do nothing about crime. Where you say Black Ivory? Because
this is with them come and attack them and them friend. The people them who have work not getting paid. Last year Jamaica distinguished itself with the homicide rate of 46.5% per 100,000, the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean region. So if the highest, why we raising pay?
So if we have the highest people, though, that makes sense too, no? So it's like we have Pierre Gugu for the highest murder rate per capita in Latin America and Caribbean. So he do a good job. So we raise him pay. We tax taxpayers money, give him 4.8 million more per the 13.8 when they have. And turn them that $18 million man. Give us some money. That means you now perform. I don't know money if you should have get. You should have get boot. You have to come out. You have to go away. Make a police to come to the rank and file and come to the rank. Put in the seat. Them pray for talk and the truth. You see me I say? So you pay him for underperformance. Can now do nothing. And he never did do nothing in the first place. All of them don't know about policing. You understand? You turn him in a security advisor to the Prime Minister. How that work? So if you want a security advisor, why use the National Security Minister as a security among them have to talk to you the same way. What the money advise upon? If you use a soldier them for kick pregnant to man of them belly and do all kind of foolishness. And tell man to come off the street, boy, and when him to do with them girl, can I look like a walk? Foolishness. See, where you could advise, but leave open up now. Just watch him money make a break it down phone, you know. What can go so better? Yaps? You have look on the homicide rate, and you pay more money, and then them talk about them are expert. Him underpaid. Underpaid. Look on this.
For the high murder rate to raise him pay? I think if it low down now and you say something to me, I could have said, okay, we could have justified. But for the high murder rate to raise him pay.
Yes.
You ever say anything like that? All right? It will take a while longer, however, to find out how Google performance has been judged, as the assessment document has still been sought by the paper.
Okay.
Okay. GUGU Gaga 3-year contract came in for scrutiny as he near the March 15 expired date, and subsequent confirmation from the Police Service Commission that it will be extended for additional 3 years.
That them done.
When I perform good enough, but they extend for 3 more years. I give you some money, right? All right. Under the existing contract, the commissioner basic salary per year is 13.5 million. That's the first. You can see it, right? to which he added approximately 4.3 million in benefits for a total compensation package of 17.8 million. You push benefit on it, you know. The benefits include standard features such as housing, the man of him house.
So yeah, in a third world country, you have a man who have him house to make money, already. You have some man at the beat and foot can't get a house. Them can't even get a loan. Yeah, yes, 3 of them for make up and buy a house now. 3 of them. So if you have your lady where you propose to and you get maybe a bedroom, I don't know, or a 2-bedroom or a share, because them some want a room down this. There's a big tenement yard and one little 2 and little crib back. It has why I'm in trouble. You see? Because you can't tell a man some want this when you don't make up and buy the house. You see? It no make no sense. You understand? Yeah, man. So he might take home this. Yeah? I must start Black Ivory. I must start. You might take home this, but tell me what? How much money a constable carry home? How much money a constable carry home after tax? For the year. You can give me an answer, apps. Give me an answer. Me know him now carry home $1.3 million for the year. Me know him now carry home that. But look where him carry home. Look where him get, right? Yeah. Yeah? Look where him carry home. The man them will work and put them life on line. They push themselves out, they can get gunshot, they can dead. We not have to go in to them family. Them not get nothing. See? But him sit down there, son, take money, and then people have to take and listen to some stupidness. I'm not play me now. Now I'll show you where we are pay this money for. To some stupid speech. How much money? How much money I can't say carry home for the year, brother? How much money I can't say carry home for the year? Abs, more you fling out that for me. I invest. Yeah? Because how much money them carry home for the month, I need to tell me. So I know some most of them now carry home after them draw pay because them salary, them basic salary around 75,000, right? And then put on some little thing on it and put it like 100,000 and then it go down back to 90 or 85 or maybe 80. So if you get, if someone carry home, some of them buy them draw some money and some loan and some sitting, then I no money I carry home. So if you carry home 90,000, 1090, that's 900,000 plus an next 100, that them carry home like 1 million and a little bit. And 80, yeah, 1 million and something, yeah, you see? And 80,000, something like that, right? 1 million and 80,000. That if some of them carry home so much. Some of them not carry home $1 million. But you have to draw everything out of item. See? They not carry home so much. But look where him get for film carry. Don't him have a car? Him have uniform. Look where him get for uniform and look where him get for everything else. A man will not working and sit down in a chair, you know, and just relax. And then you have to send and say, book, but I'm going to come to and then me soon show you him. It hurt me head. Him not come to. He said if you come to the beat and foot and you come through the whole rank and then you reach up this and I say, okay, yeah, make a piece of food now. Me understand it. Can't understand him. Not get for the for crime, brother. 92K after tax. Section that work. Allowances, yeah, may I bring in, yeah, varies. So 92 after tax. You hear that, people? And then the basic salary around 75, right? 75, 80, right? And then them put on some little thing on it and drive it back. But at them do the work. Them do the work. All right, watch this.
What we're going to give him, we not give the beat and foot them no housing. But we're going to give him 1.3 for housing for each year. 1.3, you know, million, you know. Man live in a house, you know. The man sit down and the man go, they go do no work, he man go to stark, you know. Man not doing nothing. The man no make no plan, he not have no plan. Yeah? This is just waste of money. And call 1.3 million telephone, executive dress, uniform. You hear this? Eh? So we are cater for that too, you know. But yet still we have money to buy the uniform and everything. And 1.5 million as fixed motor vehicle. Some people,
some police don't even have a 1.5 million vehicle. If them are live clean, can't buy it. But him I get that every year. This is where him getting a package. And him have him vehicle, you know. So if me employ a man and it's a third world country, right? Me I call you to come strong in a chair. Most my friend. You never do police work at night day for your man. I call you come sit in a chair and I give you 1.5 million for motor vehicle. This is taxpayers' money. When you think you don't love the poor, when you think you don't love Jamaica, I be a shit you not do. Now pay a man when I do no work. Me not believe in that. You don't believe in that. If you get up, I'm like me that work and build my company. Me want to watch Bush Trot because I'm a building thing from when and I employ people. But this now a taxpayers' money. Even the government itself are executive because people employ them. Spend taxpayers' dollars. If they borrow something on behalf of the people of Jamaica, they borrow it to pay back. You understand? If you buy something, it tax. And that's just the truth. You understand? So you can just take your money and do these things. And, you know, me never even understand it. So you give, I remember, you know, you give more than, you double up the money even what the Prime Minister himself forget. Can you imagine the member of Parliament? They don't really care nothing but yes, till them rich and have everything. That all show me have to. I soon read and tell you what them get. Yeah?
Police can buy a motor vehicle for 1.5 because them now work 1.5 million.
True.
Zane allowances. For a package while we are buying gas and everything already and we have to pay my packages for motor vehicle when I have one vehicle already. In a third world country. This me find wrong here. GUGU Gaga is also entitled to a gratuity of 25% of his basic salary upon completion of his engagement, another standard feature for contract public servant. Although the highest paid commissioner in at least a decade, the amount is not very far off what was paid to some of his recent predecessors, including those whose career were entirely with the Jamaica Conservative for the JCF.
We have no problem with, yeah.
In 2010, when he became commissioner, Owen Ellington was paid approximately 9 million, of which 6.5 million was basic salary. By the time he left office in 2014, his package has climbed to 13 million. For nothing, you know, which include 10 million basic.
But here what with Owen now? Remember, I get 13. But the road I give nearly 100 million according to the police and the documents where I'm send me and everything and them run with it and whatever. You know, hear nothing about it. I use the police them and not pay them. Them let the patrol and them collect. $18 million man go and clear. I'm going to play him after this, you know. I soon play him. So I'm going to play him. I want to know where I pay this man because and I like further rate and that time with them come tell they can't tell me nothing. Can't trick me. Yeah, man. We are stand up on them same way, man. Hear this.
Basic salary. Basic pay. Dr. Carl William followed serving from 2014 to 2017, earning about 16 million, 11 million basic pay yearly. Right? Former military chief, Rear Admiral Adlwilling, chief constable, from 2007 to 2009, took home 10 million. 8 million basic pay. Prior to Anderson,
So
he was the last.
So him basic pay at 8. So 2 more, but I'm gonna get 4.8 pounds. A film basic pay, then how much more million pound in basic pay, you know? 1.8 million, you know, that are more than what constable get for the year, you know. Film care alone. District constable 65K. You see what I say? Them in the thing. And tell me why. You see, when people like apps and invest and them run now and do something that look big, like something big, and when you look at them come up and attack to the public because them want to look good. Barely not work neither. I'm sitting in the office. You just put in my head or something. I lie me I tell. And I lie me I tell. Yeah? Yeah, they traveling allowances alone more than one of them police, yeah. In our third world country, you know. But if you have borrow money, we by them don't pay. This is how them take a tax money and do. Give to them friend and then collaborate. And then make we are owe debt. And I tell you it's a 2032, I tell them say foolishness. We know another foolishness, yeah. Eh? Instead they break down the money and give them and I give them 4% too. And them have to stand up on a march and a protest to get 4%. Eh? How would them earn? It don't make no sense, brother.
As non-JCF officer to lead the police force. Information obtained for 2017 indicate that Deputy Commissioner took home approximately 11 million, 8 million basic pay. So them get the...
So right now, if that's in a them time they're 11, that means you must get more Bailey. Bailey. You must get more than that now. So you put them the combine, you have to put X amount of constable, some of the man beat and foot on them. If you just get even 2 or 3 or 4 them pay combine and enough man that can pay for the year, you know. Yeah. If you're doing nothing, they're not doing the work. And I like them, I say, oh, we are target and we are sending them and them do the right thing. Them now do nothing. I'm going to think GUGU could come out and make some speech. I'm going to play GUGU right now. Watch me.
Table and get everything, but them just sit down and not nothing. They're not doing no work. More comprehensive data and remuneration of person rank immediately below the commissioner as well as senior leadership of Jamaica Defense Force are being sought from the authorities. So we want to know how much money some other people get. But you know, so they're not getting no far off. There's so much money there, so they are compared with Caribbean region now. And the regional level available.
Oh, it cut off. That means do something and cut off. I mean, I can show you them want to compare. I want to put them up Barbados. Think that get little less than him. And then that I get less than him, 1/5. You know, less at the time. Yeah. They get 1/5 that I give it out now. Right? And Guyana, them get enough time less than him. Yeah. Them the commissioner carry 600,000 a month. And some other people, but we never not compare with this. Me I say look on the crime and look on the man with them push up and say him go on good now. Let me hear what him say. Let me hear him talk to me. Talk to me.
Body-worn cameras.
No, this is a body camera. Them talk about 2016. So me I remind him at most of 2019 when them come and talk about body camera. Just listen him good.
We've also been in a procurement cycle for body-worn cameras. They started in May last year. The first attempt at it following the government of Jamaica guidelines.
Following the Jamaica first attempt at it. First attempt at what? And just listen to the man talk. This is what I give $18 million for a year. Just listen.
Had a number of unresponsive bidders. The second attempt had a number of responsive bidders, and that by late last year we had a good sense of what we wanted to go for.
What we wanted to go for? How am I say? This is how I pay 18 million to. You just talk about the body camera. Listen, them say them that body camera and them that are going to do some tests on that 2016. That money that it must be dead. If you buy body camera, no man not tell me about no pin with sticker and nothing like that. This is not, you know, talk some people that about puppet show. This is a camera people use. So you can buy it from reputable people. Yeah? If I know the state or who. Somebody tell me about no pin and some foolishness. See? Let me just play back what I say so. And I catch breath. This is what we are paying for.
May last year, the first attempt at it, following the government of Jamaica guidelines, had a number of unresponsive bidders.
And last year, because at the time when them talks are 2016, so it couldn't be the first attempt. So when I say lie, him not have no knowledge of it, and him talk foolishness and him a buck. Him a buck. Googs, him a googs.
Yeah. The second attempt had a number of responsive bidders, and that.
If you buy some camera, what kind of attempt? It's like you fly a plane and you attempt to land it. And it's like an attempt, you know? And the breeze blow or something. What kind of attempt? If you buy some camera, you buy some camera. First attempt at it and second attempt. So you talk to me. This makes sense? This we are pay $18 million for? Make you go and hear it.
By late last year, we had a good sense of what we wanted to go for. There were some challenges with which one we should actually select. And then we had COVID. At the moment, for the past month, we've been testing various models. based on what.
So if you test the smuggle and you say you don't go for it, but we have COVID. So you say we are testing various smuggle now. That means we get them? And we going at it. And then we have, and in the past month, we have various model. So you get the model?
What was put forward in the tender documents and in the bids, and that has allowed us to evaluate things like how rugged they are, whether the clips will break or not, are they suitable for our service.
Oh, you are evaluate if the people them are use it in their country and say boom bam bam. You are evaluate how rugged they are. If you buy a TV and you know say okay, I buy which one of TV them are going. You have a phone and you say okay, I come buy an Apple. I buy iPhone. You know it's an iPhone you go for. Can you know how it work? Can you know the standard of it? You buy some MacBook. And you buy some HP. So you know where you buy. Where matter about how rugged and clip. It no make no sense. This is what we are paying $18 million for them speech. If they make some good speech and make sense. Me still like a bunny mouth, but me that say, okay, I make look sense to them speech. Where we say, yo, you know, say a speech alone, but not even the speech, right? Yeah.
Circumstances. Also, how we capture the data from these body-worn cameras is significant. We have brought in a server for that purpose. It's here in Jamaica. We just haven't commissioned it yet. The people who are supposed to come in and commission it have not been able to do so yet.
So if you have the server, that means buy it already. So also, we have a server and it's supposed to come in and service yet. And the people who, so a server, they have to have people to come in and put in a server. Then somebody from the JCF and them that because you have people, experts who are going to people's phone and do all these kind of things. And deal with them server thing and all kind of little things. Where must say no make no sense? Them can't straighten out them statement, him and googs with it. Him not just lie, him and googs with it too, man. Him lie too, but him and googs with it. So that means you have it then, because if you come for the server, that means we have the body camera. All them that start with it all now. Oh, invest, you don't get body camera yet? Can't you just say, no? Them come
we capture the data from these body-worn cameras is significant.
You talk to me and then I talk about capture these data. If me have camera right now, me capture me can just copy it from my laptop. Or anyone on my computer, you have to go capture. I couldn't know. What tell you say? You know, say I really looks this. Hear this.
We have brought in a server for that purpose. It's here in Jamaica. We just haven't commissioned it yet. The people who are supposed to come in and commission it have not been able to do so yet because our borders are closed. And
so that means you're getting the body camera then? Because if them are commission the surfer, what kind of surfer am I commission? You might commission a surfer. You know the surfer them we have, right? So I commission a surfer. I not understand him though. You understand? So he might commission a surfer, you know, and him can't come in commission and yet because them cannot do so. So we bother not open by this. For take off the data for the body camera. You hear him?
So we're working on that. It's a long process, but as you...
We are working on that. It started. It's a long process. Listen, we are working on that for July. We're working on that for August. You know, we're working on that. It's a long process.
Borders are closed. And so we're working on that. It started. It's a long process. But as you can imagine, unlike other organizations, the JCF is very large. We have 12,000.
We are talking about the JCF, like you leave from your work on the body cam, it's a long, my work on the surface alarm. The beach are very large, and we have 12,000. We are going there so far. We not ask about that. We want about the body cam. You just tell about the surfer. When the people them reach, at least them put him up for man. Stupidness.
Members out there, 14,000 plus, including district constables, of which a significant portion of these members have to be equipped with body cameras. So it's a massive procurement. We cannot afford to get it wrong. We have to take it, to have to do this in a...
The 14,000 are equipped with a body camera. You know, 7,000, and then we have around 3,000 civilians. You have put them in the back camera too, sir. You talk about massive this and that like civilian I work with them. I want to this man. Not even man a baby. Sorry, my name not sure. You see, me get me upset that me don't want to upset pan kid. You cannot do that. You understand? But if you know better than that, but put him back in our cage. Talk to him straight, man. Eh? You put them there and you say 12 and they are about this and they are about 14,000 plus that you have civilian working there also. Them now have nobody camera get. And the way, by the way, the body camera and all of the police camera way body camera. That's when you go up on your work like that. You go body camera and turn it on. You know, officer, you do body camera and turn on your body camera. That makes sense. Yes, a 14,000. That makes sense to no people. Him cock up name officer, mother put on a body camera. Name officer supposed to have camera. Eh? He might tell you how much people and might tell you in a full, you know, even the civilians them work. It no make no sense. Eh? It can't download it. I can use my phone like body can then nothing me to come and take it and play it. Remember it? Eh? You understand? Be a man, him just need one of the things them to keep the data. Because if them need it and them things, they might tell them about surf and all kind of little things like, you think we don't know about surf and all kind of things, but we just slow him this up. You see me I say? Time one, you know, you buy some things with some extra amount of gig, some other things to capture some data. When them come, that's when them use. And when the man them do something, so you know you have it to go a court and when and I like something out clear. I don't know where my talk say, you know. You understand? He might talk some unanswered story, I mean, I understand. But we are paying 8 million for this foolishness. Eh?
Very structured way, very step by step. And so that's where we are with that.
This is what we get. For 18 million. So we're going to play back something. I'll play the next thing with him. I'm going to show you the strategies. I'll show you the strategies where them use, where we are pay a bag of money. And pass, I'll invest them to turn our soup. Eh? Senior strategists. What the junior strategists? To come tell we lie. I serve for them, the man talk about, you know. Eh? Eh? You understand? So him come just talk some little things that I don't understand. See? All right. Look here. That talk is what I don't understand, man. Senior strategist.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Fitz Bailey, he is in charge of the crime portfolio, and he both of them will be presenting. You'll hear from them today in one way or another. We will be updating you on some very important cases, as well as taking some of your questions that you might have. We come to you at a very important time in our country. National security and law enforcement matters are always of great importance, and we, in our commitment to continuously engage the public and to be open and transparent with you, we are speaking with you at this time because we think it is very important. This time I will hand over to the police commissioner. He'll make a brief presentation and then we will manage a few questions. Police commissioner.
Thank you, Dennis, for that introduction. As Mr. Brooks said, I also have Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey here with me. He's crime chief for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So members on all platforms, members of the media, interested parties, ladies and gentlemen, here in Jamaica and in the diaspora, good afternoon to you all. I think it's important to continue this dialogue that we've been having between the police and the public on the whole business of what we're responsible for dealing with, which is one is crime, public order, and safety matters. And it's important that we add our voice to all of those voices that are out there speaking on these matters and share with our public some of the things we're doing, what we're seeing, the trends we're seeing, so that the public are informed, that everyone's informed about how we're seeing things and what we're doing about these matters that we're responsible for. So this is part of that commitment that we made. I think in early December we had another briefing, another press briefing, where we had spoken about some efforts that we would be making in December, a surge operation that we did that proved to be very effective in December. And so this is the follow-on. So let me start with what we've been seeing out there, and particularly there have been some cases that have been particular concern to our public. I mean, there are shocking cases, and I think the most recent one that has been shared extensively on social media and even traditional media is the killing of a lady in church in Trelawney. So our response to that killing was quite swift. At the moment we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody for this killing. We pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out on social media.
We must say. And this is where we are with it, and some of that came on social media. Now watch me, because we help solve the things, eh? But this is what them do. You won't come up front when you have apps and invest, and some of that good police go and try to deal with some situation. And we see, we can find it and say, hey, this and that, because stuff is done. This man no value 18, this is a baby. This is a GUGU Gaga. Him no value not even not cent, a Jamaican wet cent. This a confused, this a stupidness. Man will work hard now get them pay. You don't understand. We don't know what the man has said to me. This is a straight GUGU. Play.
But this has been our response to that one. We've also...
This has response to that one. That confirm. This has response to that one. Let me just listen again. This has response to that one.
Our response to that killing was quite swift. At the moment we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody for this killing. We pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out on social media, but this has been our response to that one. We've also had, and I think it's important, and I'm going to make another point. There's a certain level of degenerate behavior that we have seen among our criminals, our criminal population. We've seen where it becomes a thing that people are willing to kill people for money.
That has gone on for a long time, sir. We've seen where people have come and where a thing where people kill people for money. Most be dead because of money. As some disagreement and it cause some other things. A lot of people dead because of money. Man get it and get take out because something happened and it involved in what and cause a crime and then what. They mean by people are kill people for money. The long time people are kill people for money, sir. I when them a gamble, people are get stabbed for over those card pack alone much as. People are killed for house, set up values, kill for car, kill for all kind of things. Rob your things and you talk and you get killed, you know. Where am I set away? Eh? Anyway, pick him go on, please.
And that family members who should be taking care of each other, who should be looking about the interest of other family members, are not doing that, but are instead over property, over wealth, over items, are actually arranging and premeditating the killing of other family members. We saw that, I'd say, most recently in this case. We saw it at an earlier case in Trelawney. We saw that in a case in St. Mary, where this sort of behavior has been playing out. My warning and advice in this case, or in these cases, is that even if you're disposed to do that, the likelihood of you getting away with it is quite low. In all of these cases, we have persons in custody. These cases have been solved.
No go say in all of these cases. So much people know dead when not solved, not. I'm going to tell us in all of these cases, there are people in all of these cases. You must have them cases and have nobody at all now. There were 500,000 cases and enough of them cases are involved. And think of them fling murder upon other people. I'll be a crap in my tax still, you know. Be a crap. You understand? 18 million this. More than any other commissioner, even will come through the rank and file. Eh? Eh? This bad.
There may be one or two people we are still after, but largely you will not get away with it.
Yeah.
So if the property that you think you're going to benefit from by organizing the assassination of family members or persons close to you, or doing it yourself, that you think that you'll do this and then enjoy the fruits of that, it is very unlikely. And we have been aggressively pursuing these, and we have been finding the people in most of these cases who are responsible. We know, we follow up. Our intelligence resources are adequate to find out what has happened in these cases, and our responsiveness and our investigators have been following up very rapidly. Some of these cases are wrapped in 24 to 48 hours, some take longer.
Where am I talk to? I see them call out man and man there Jamaica, man I call them. I see them call out all dead man. They talk about cases. See cases, man going to prison for one of them do murder. You understand? I tell you, hey, brother, may I tell you, a man get $18 million and I talk a bag of crap. Crime say good enough it for what and not at all crime. Mr. Better me invest. Me pay and pay some other man. They have enough for police so we can go pay ups. Jano. They see this kind of thing and nepotism and cronyism. $18 million this. Eh? Never. Him car allowance alone. And him a vehicle, you know. More than what a constable get for him pay for the whole year. You have seen them thing, yeah, man? Eh?
But that is the case. So my warning is that we don't do this. The other point that I'd like to make is that what we've been seeing is a certain fluidity of criminal action. People move back and forth across the country to commit crimes, to make arrangements with other gangs to do crimes on their behalf. And because we've seen this fluidity of operation, we have put in measures along our roadways to intercept and interrupt this and to detect.
And to the
We are getting good intelligence on how people are moving and the routes they're taking. One of the critical parts of why we have advanced the case in Trelawney shooting so quickly is the responsiveness of some of those measures that we put in place across the across our roadways.
The roadways.
There was a recent case, and I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth, where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and did their, committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth. We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak.
So as a commissioner this, and I tell you, say, the hitman, that mean him hit him target. So the person who PM reach your ultimate goal. The hitman might not attack, I might go take the fall. But the person get rid of the person where they want to kill. This man I get 18 million. So, and I like them not, they never reach back. Them not leave sentence because you intercept them. You intercept them before them go kill the people then. That's why you should not get your money. Because when you come to these things, don't go show you the fluidity. That's what you want to, but it's stupid. And you have people the bank and file coming up can't get, certain people can't get no money, man. And if you have fight for 4%, man. And this man I live comfortable, not doing nothing, and when they chat, poop. This is a real Google. Yeah.
So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession,
what kind of profession, brother? You people who believe they should take up this profession. Criminality, that, brother. So we don't call it no profession, we call it criminality, yeah? All right.
There was a recent case, I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth, where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and did their, committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth. We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak. So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession, your likelihood of doing it and keep doing it and getting away is shrinking. The space in which you operate is shrinking. Now this sort of aggressive and strategic way in which we are deploying on our roads and applying our intelligence along these roadways also has a knock-on effect, because it is having an effect on things like fatal accidents. In our hotspots, we are down now 46% year on year in fatal accidents. The other thing that I'll speak briefly about is this business of the gang activities that we've seen, where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups, intra-gang rivalry has led to
you know what I'm saying? We see gang member, gang as groups. Gang as groups. Member, yo, the man talking, you have listening good enough. You can't make that.
They did not leave St. Elizabeth. We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak. So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession, your likelihood of doing it and keeping it, getting away, is shrinking. The space in which you operate.
Criminality turn a profession now. Our does criminality, that's why we lock them up, because of criminality. You have do a profession, you have somebody at bank, you are working at the bank, you take up that profession, doctors and nurse and thing, take up this profession. Cool yourself.
Is shrinking. Now this sort of aggressive and strategic way in which we are deploying on our roads and applying our intelligence along these roadways also has a knock-on effect, because it is having an effect on things like fatal accidents. In our hotspots, we are down now 46% year on year in fatal accidents. The other thing that I'll speak briefly about is this business of the gang activities that we've seen, where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups, intra-gang rivalry has led to a number of shootings. We had a triple homicide in the Lincoln Road area. We had a triple homicide in Almond Town. And these cases where we've had these triples, we have, through our investigative efforts, have persons in custody. Some of the people have been charged, some are about to be charged, but none of them have gone unanswered by us as a police force. And no case of none of those triples that we've seen do we not have a good idea of who has done it, who else is involved, and we're going through the investigative process to tidy up those cases and wrap it up.
Tidy up this case and wrap it up. $18 million this for this garbage. I'll be a garbage me a year. Eh? Be a garbage. You don't see nothing yet. That's what I mean. That's a play. That's what I'm going to try to straighten up the GUGs. Sir GUGs. I'll be a garbage this with $18 million, brother and sisters. Eh? Pay police, the man. They make care run to third world country. Care run, so we take this money and give this man them kind of big money. For what? Hear this.
The other thing, and perhaps one of the other important matters in that regard, we have seen a number of killings through these gang activities in the Lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt. And what we have seen is, again, the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders.
So you want to see, so you stand up and watch it and you see the fluidity and the border where you set as the traditional police. How am I explaining to this? $18 million this, you know? 18 million. Yeah? All right.
Create static lines, of which, of course, criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth. And in that...
So if you create a static line, that means the police that now move, them create a static line, and the criminal back and forth. That him tell me the police them what this. Not that him just said come here. Him said create a static line. If you're static, yeah, and you now move, you're static, create a static line, right? And the criminal move back and forth, and then they've no say that you now moving the police, you know, and you create that, you know, right? But them have move back and forth, so you just know the criminal make them back and forth. Then where must it to be? Eh? Him just say static, you know. Play him back. You have to listen to the man that's talking, man.
It is in the Lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt.
Listen.
And what we have seen is, again, the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which, of course, criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth. And in that regard, we have implemented a number of strategies to deal with that fluidity across the lower belt. We have a and increase our agility. We have within the next few weeks a whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will be trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and weapons to respond quickly to gang activity.
Yeah, train them. They've been trained in tactical use. They are being trained in tactical with motorcycle and them weapons. Them police carry weapons, sir. And where man said to be? If you listen to me, man, you have a breakdown where man said to you, 18 million me I talk about. Me rather talk to Kawian, you know. Me rather talk to Kawian. Believe me. Yeah, man. Me rather talk to Kawian. This are what the police them when you now march and say open the shop say no, we don't want this. We want somebody want we don't want a baby. This a joke.
It is in the lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt. And what we have seen is again the fluidity across police divisions in lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as traditional policing borders create static lines, of which of course criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth.
So you create a static line, your police. You now move. Like I said, you them static in a prison, so anything come. So you create a static line. And them that float back and forth, them have move like fluid, like water when like river. That means enough of them are run past. And you stand up and you now move. But you have trained people in a tactical training now. So you go after them. So what happened to them police are in the static line? Because I want to create the static line. I'll be a crappy matter. 18 million this. 18 million.
And in that regard, we have implemented a number of strategies to deal with that fluidity across the lower belt. We have an increase our agility. We have within the next few weeks a whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will be trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to
so when those say a while, I must say them are be trained, and they are be trained. So I'm just say two things, and with them bike and with them weapon. And that them can respond. But you still have a static line. Just static, away they have some like where the pastor says a store don't car, police always will have this, This a man I forget 18 million a joke this. Eyes on the file, me see her. Okay. DK me swear that's the man. Oh, man.
And up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So we are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak, to remove some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into a more fluid, citywide policing strategy.
What I mean artificial boundary that is more traditional, fluid? Where the argument that come from? That can be that not depend on paper there. It doesn't come off and tap and move like maybe jump or something. But that not this yes a look a while. When does a look a while?
And increase our agility. We have within the next few weeks a whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will be trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to expand up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So
you continue with the process of training, but you have to expand it, and you're not done training yet, sir? What must say to me? Because me have to understand what I say now. I'm not even know that one. I listen every sentence where the man make. Number one, you know, so I dissect everything we must say, and it don't make no sense now. I say, oh, other man I reach to $18 million, sir. Oh, him reaching another job, yeah. Him now do not work for the job, you know, for the money, you know. Film car allowance alone is more than a constable pay for the whole year. And that is sin in our third world country. Yeah? That man shouldn't in a seat like that, man. Me rather a man do beat and foot and him rise go up there. So he don't say, yeah, I'm doing 30, I'm 40 years. Let the man go out in peace. But not that man, no, sir. No, sir. It's a joke.
We are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak to remove some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into a more fluid citywide policing strategy. As we continue to carry out our policing operations, we will see flares, and every now and again things will happen, as happened in the case of the homeless people. These things will happen. We will get those flares, and we respond to them very quickly to ensure that when it happens, it doesn't continue to happen. And also to get people in custody. We have one person in custody in relation to that. Early days yet, but you know, we're progressing that case as well. So it's really this, I think it's important that the public be aware generally, without going into too much specifics on the details of strategy, but to assure the public or reassure the public that we have the mechanisms in place, we have intelligence, we are being more and more responsive and following up on these cases to conclusion much more rapidly. And so we're reducing the space with the tools available to us, and we're creating new tools.
So you have tools available for us, but you have station when I have no police car. Very important tool. You have served how much different district in the country area, how much different areas. You don't have one car for go out if somebody gets raped or somebody just gets robbed or shoot and them thing there. Man down one with the vehicle. Invest. I hear him, the tools and everything with them have. Eh? That makes sense? You have man right now, when a government, like what investors say 7 car deep. Out of this way you do it 7 car deep. Them man don't have them vehicle. Can't do police on a vehicle. And for don't love the country, you know. We not drain the country of resources. And by the way, the MP them not get enough money, I soon tell them what them get. See, them not get enough money, you know. If the Prime Minister get under $9 million, yeah, I think the opposition leader get something like maybe 7, 6, 7, somewhere around there, right? Him and the finance minister get somewhere around there, 6 million or something, and then the rest get under, and then the MP them not carry home not much. I think them carry home under 400,000 and the 300,000 or something a month. See? So all them have so much hotel, so much big house, so much this. Some of them have like the yacht. Yeah, I'll be a criminality going, you know. The money where them are carry home, I remember them are career politician. You understand? You have some of them make some money before that. But some of them are boogie a liar. Them are not real nothing. See? Some of them just going at that, career politician them. And them have the most money, but them not really. Me not understand this in a third world country. So me can't question the whole of them. When them are saying out the feed right now for go deal with people and say boom boom, make sure you deal with politicians first. You understand? The country have to clean up. Have to clean, man.
To stop the gang violence and bloodletting on one sense, but to create an environment of greater safety, whether it's on our roads or in our commercial areas, and over the next, certainly over this year, we're focusing on more public safety, public order, whilst at the same time targeting those gang members and criminals who are bent on murder and murdering each other and the families and associates of other gang members. They are closing the gap, closing the space on them. But as I said, we will have flares. We will pivot quickly. We'll be more agile in terms of our response to it. And over this year, we expect to have reduction in homicides, in major crime, as we got last year, even though at the beginning we've had a brief spike. We will continue to work it and get it down. So I think just sharing that with the public is important.
So when it go up, then that's why I said we shouldn't get the money, because this is foolishness. You might tell him continue to work and get done, you still not work with the public. Where you actually with the public? If you take most of the people, them who are poor people, if you take them for criminal and them things, the way you share with the public, I you share it to the private sector and the big man them, and the criminal politician them. And then Uno just come in the handful of Uno. Yeah, as time for the police force, Uno, GUGU, and them set all the barbers. As time for the police force. Yeah, Uno policeman and a joker too, you know. We now come up there, so we now push and do all the people, them, we not look up to and trample them when people like this, them are put under pressure. Eh? Look on this. The man should have move and somebody else who know rank and file that you feel good to work hard to reach up there because you can't reach there too. You can't have a Google in the space, man. This is a joke. It's a foolishness.
And of course, as part of this,
can you comment on the ongoing gang war in Western Kingston and the recent killing of Harry?
Me no want hear him none at all. I want to come back to Google because pure foolishness this. Hear this now.
Brief spike. We will continue to work it and get it down. So I think just sharing that with the public is important. And of course, as part of this,
can you comment on the ongoing gang war?
Somebody want in a gang war. So we don't want to see Bailey now then. Bailey, we don't want to be right. We don't have no time. A Google time now, Google a shine. Bailey, soon go give your time here. The great Google a shine, yeah.
Members, Central Kingston. We actually finished the decision-making procurement process and everything for body cameras last year, so some in the latter part of last year, and put in the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place to really capture the data of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras. Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras over time and holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and computer power. So we know what we're buying now.
You're not holding the and quite. We are explain to you about computer. I know I give you a man. You know our phone roll. I body camera them do. We do it. We shoot music video and anything that together. We do a lot of things, you know. We know we can hold space. Then you have a drive and them thing that were big enough can hold space and all kind of things. When I use that, move out the way where if you use it, you use it. We might not make no sense still, you know. Just not make no sense, but make a one listening.
Now is a matter of rolling out, just adding more cameras.
Yeah.
Now the extent of our...
Yeah, what I'm saying? It's a matter of rolling out and I know where wait and none of them not come out. I know. You see it? So they matter one thing and next thing and one bag of foolishness. Will not make no sense. You understand? I'm going to hear this.
Budget and the budget constraints that we may be under this year. We know we're going to buy more cameras. As many as we wish, the amount we wish to have bought. I don't think we'll be able to do that because of a bit of contraction in our budget, which is really just a reflection of the contraction overall in the government budget and expenditure, largely because of COVID-19 and the effects of that. So that's with respect to cameras. But most of these cases that we have dealt with this quickly is because of a combination of technologies, which are those cameras, various cameras, not just those, but closed circuit TV, Jamaica, and all of that.
Sure.
Plus the intelligence technology that is available to us. Plus,
that means if you have so much thing and you have so much money and so much thing on the top, but we're not supposed to have that problem now. We're not supposed to have this. We have those up the Santry youth just the other day up Augustown, just like that Bloom. And then other people that are about Moby and same and everything. Westman and same and everything. So if you have so much technology and so much thing like where you come and tell me about, you're not supposed to worry about nothing now. We're not supposed to worry about intelligence. Because you talk like you have the intelligence. I'm not intelligent at all. You know? I Google this, you know. I mean, I talk too rough, you know, eyes on the file because I'm not too rough, baby. No, I don't do that. If I, you know, big people may talk rough too. So, you know, I don't want to get carried away. Yeah, because we have a Google. No. You understand? But we talk rough to Sir Googs. You understand? Yeah, man.
Our ballistics and DNA, that is work that is available to us. And the and also
ballistic and DNA available to them. So them are going good then. All right. You might tell the one what them have. Okay.
Old-fashioned stick-to-itivity and detective work that our detectives have been doing for a while and still do. And I think probably most importantly, or more importantly, is also the assistance we get from the public in these cases who support us with giving us information on what we do. But we have a whole technology program rolling out. We have 30 major technology projects. They have been delayed a little bit, but a lot of them will be coming on stream this year, including our station record management system, our case management system, the ability to connect what we do across the country. So as the criminals are fluid, so are we in our communications and in our ability to do surveillance. So we have, apart from whatever other responses we have, a lot of our responses are technology driven. We are building capacity with the force, and that capacity.
Well, before that, the identified Juba they must nasty, Juba they must eat, you know, because you know, nasty dirty Juba can pass a backlash of one woman. When you see me, you know that already. And nasty Shirley, you know, so them, no place to them. Yeah, me no have a criminal on me, no better. No. The case me I go on, me no foolishness. You have to stop it. See, me go and listen Google. Because them not different from Google neither, you know. Because them not smart neither, you know. Them not smart. Them do things and understand to have people like me. Let me tell you again. If you come on me, nobody feel no way. When you see me smile and them thing there, we are study you. Yeah, man. But if you run your file. Because if you know who run we. You understand? Yeah, man. Yeah, eyes on the file and a joke. You're all right. I mean, your point, you see it, eyes on the files. So you know some of the files them have to run. You understand? Now, see Juba, yeah, man, you don't know that. See? You don't have too much criminal intention and do too much things to people. So we have to just, yeah, we not around putting we have to fling it out there. You understand? Yeah, man. Now, play with you now.
Will get better and better results. Capacity isn't built overnight, but people can rest assured that we have a clear program of development, a clear program of capacity building, and this capacity is building and transforming JCF into a police force that we can be very proud of, not just in Jamaica, but internationally, and we will see that.
So who internationally put a Jamaica police force? So you mean the police force that we proud of them internationally? Eh? Una letting them infiltrate the force within themselves. I'll be a criminal with badge and gun. And the good police them try to blow them. And good police, like when we have apps and invest and some other man where we gonna call them name, because you have good police there forcing. See? Me no foolish with them. Yeah, man. Me about them straight, you know. Yeah, man. You did.
play out, and we're seeing some of the results of that capacity. It's a work in progress.
Thank you very much. Can we take some of the questions in the chat? Let's open.
We don't want no question. We want Sir GUGU. We don't want to see sir. Sir GUGU answer. All right, Sir GUGU. And the man who wants to, the man run boy. Sir GUGU.
Get done as soon as possible. I mean, the truth of the matter is, we are bound by regulations that if a case has a criminal component to it, we have to wait until that matter is fully ventilated and disposed of until we can take any other action in the case. So normally we remove the person from having the opportunity to continue to do anything. We put them on interdiction. If they're charged, we put them on suspension. We progress the administrative side of things to a point, but larger regulations require us to wait on the outcome of any court cases associated with it. Okay, so that provides sometimes the delay. Yes. Yes. Right.
So for example, yes, so why are we not hearing of a conclusion of your internal investigations if there is inappropriate conduct?
Right, so usually near to the event, we put out something at that time. We can put out something, the team can put out something. We'll have to do some research into the specific cases that you mentioned. I know that we have just revamped our whole court of inquiry system, and we've been getting the cases through much quicker. I signed off on some people's, on the cases after they're done. I have to sign off on them, and I've been doing more and more of those. More of those have been coming to my attention. What we can do is, if not right now, but if you get in touch with the team, the CCU, they can update you on some of these cases, specific cases. Yeah. Yeah.
50 million.
Of what?
Performance assessment or misconduct.
As I say, again, if you, I don't have those figures, so if I do not have those figures right to hand at the moment about how many are not going to be re-enlisted for that, but certainly they will be, some will be, and it is one of the methods, of course, how we protect our public, is to get rid of these people. We have the iProbe, which we had restructured, I think last 2019, has been ramping up their efforts. As a matter of fact, what they have been doing is, even after things like police stops, etc., they have been subsequently stopping people and asking what the experience was, and following up with any of the reports we get on police misconduct. It's not a...
So all iProbe do that. Where am I saying the So after a police do a stop, then subsequently iProbe now come and subsequently stop people and ask what the experience was. Or iProbe are stop me and maybe police will stop me. What am I do when we done, the police don't leave me, you know, iProbe just the right out there and stop me? Can't them just go out, can't that when just say them make no sense. They might ask what the experience was. Them just come stop the iProbe and stop and say, oh, was the experience with the police? Because I must I stop 2 times on the little way. Where must it make no sense? This can't make sense. You understand? A taxpayer's money I pay him, the government I pay him. 18 million this year.
It's not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it. I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, you know, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. We have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
In getting rid of our members. I must say, we have to be very deliberate in getting rid of our members.
efforts. As a matter of fact, what they have been doing is even after things like police stops, etc., they have been subsequently stopping people and asking what the experience was and following up with any of the reports that we get on police misconduct. It's not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it. I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed. We have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
You're getting the criminal from the force, sir. You know, want us get rid of the members, them. In getting rid of our members, you think a criminal one, the man who break them, eh? This a joke. This a joke. You can't be valid for money, Carlos. No, this is how me talk about. This is how the country run. And we police them now see nothing better. Yeah.
Issues, if you remember that case where somebody was killed on, as a matter of fact, it was a shooting on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard where they chased this person and then they escaped they shot the people in the car, chased one, shot him on the ground, and then moved away from there. That car was intercepted about, I think about 10 minutes later by a team of quick reaction persons. So without getting into too much detail about the specific tactics and how you deploy and all of that, once you have criminals operating fluidly from one space to another, moving, committing crimes and moving to another place, it's important that we also are as agile and responsive. We know what kind of strict situations we have.
So you might say Jimmy Cliff Boulevard when the man get one sit there out of you and they get stopped 10 minutes after. So why you never stop them 10 minutes before them man get shot and save the people in life? If you tell me about response team and this and all kind of things and intelligence and all kind of things, it does not add up. And this is our 18 million we have spent. Kind of upon the gun, him just start foolishness and fling the force even down more. So them not have no head really. Them not have no head. You understand? This just I get some free money. Free for this.
Have with all of this. So it's clear and it's been shown to be effective to have layered in among our normal patrols, our specialized operations patrols, that we also have a quick and responsive unit that can operate very quickly in the corporate area in spite of traffic.
Thank you.
Right.
And second, we've had 2 movement gun busts since the start of the year.
Yes.
Is the police satisfied that the people are keyless or are the intermediaries? To that question, are we going to
Okay, I'm going to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit about that, but I don't think
we're not allowing him. We don't want to hear Bailey. None at all. Move. Not your time, sir. Senior strategists. One who was the junior one. And I must say, them appoint him. In my police too, in the radio station, leave it and turn senior strategists. I must assume too, Eh? Yeah, soup. Yeah, man.
all of what you needed, but you haven't gotten some resources. So in the attitude you've been in office, winning us, why, Commissioner, are we not winning? And how far away are we from the track where the constabulary reports can tell the people of Jamaica that we are on track to winning?
Thank you very much, George. Good question, CP.
We don't want to blame neither. Oh, how would this? GUGU? Backside. I think I blame because hush. I'm doing that Blake, sir. Have you hear Google, man?
Murder problem in the country. It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year. And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how close or how far from 1,000 we get.
When does answer say? Yeah, this man good to make it talk something with sense. And what we get is this narrative about how close or how far from 1,000 we get. And that thing they say. You might answer a question and when answer make no sense. Me hear what I'm saying.
But you have got
This is how we are paying $18 million for, yeah?
winning office. Why, Commissioner, are we not winning?
Yeah? This is how we pay $18 million for. No, I'm military all over, you know. One thing with me, you know. I know about girls, but I know about wars.
Thank you very much, George. Good question.
Yeah?
Okay, thank you, George. So let's just put a couple of things in perspective. I just say, you know, I came in 2018. The year prior to me coming into office, we had 1,600 plus murders that year. In the first year, we dropped by, through a number of different techniques and methods, we dropped by 20%, 22%, 21%. Now, what we see over time, what we're dealing with is a very chronic murder problem in the country. It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year.
Listen now.
And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how close or how far from 1,000 we get, whilst we still year on year turn out 1,000 homicides a year.
So what
now we need to...
When answer the while we still turn out the narrative come around and how close and how far, while we still turn out at all. Where am I saying that make no sense in that?
In my view, drop that rapidly. Some things were put in place to do that whilst we build capacity. Now, a lot of the capacity building efforts have been giving us better results. So we see our clear-up rate increasing. We see major crimes going down, except, well, not even except, including murder, where we had a 22% drop, approximately. It went up about 3% in 2019 and went down again last year. The more capacity we have is the better we will trend on that. But murder is not the only thing the police do. And we cannot afford to leave everybody else without policing to prevent gunmen largely from killing each other. We cannot do that. So we have to split the resources between that. We have to split the resources and some of the technologies and so on that we've been getting into leveraging investigations, getting better clear-up rates, etc., which is a slower process of getting the homicides down. We are locking up people more, we're bringing them, we're creating better cases, and we're finding out who did it quicker. But ultimately, that is a reasonably slow process. The cycle of violence.
They say I lock up people, but that's slow process. That means I lock them up less then. So he must say something and him them counteract what he must say. Can you lock them up more, but you say a slow process. Eh? All right.
And the willingness to go and kill, as whether you're family or whether you are gangsters fighting each other. In a recent study about a gang member is 160 times more likely to be killed.
The man I tell about reach and study. We might tell about study for brother. We study about gang member. We are asking something about police. You know, we are talking about study. Eh?
Than another citizen.
Yeah,
As soon as someone picks up that gun, they become endangered. But it's repeated cycle of violence. So although we got some resources, and we did, and we got a good input, some of those things are dealing with some things that have been outstanding in the force for a long time. We've always spoken about why don't we use more technology. We've always spoken about what about the conditions in which policing takes place, our mobility. So there's been an investment in that. And we've given a return on investment in the metrics of policing.
Metrics of policing?
If you want rapid drops in homicides, and you can do your research and look at anywhere that rapid drops have taken place, you used not normal methods, but extraordinary methods, always.
So I'm telling you, if you want a rapid drop, but if you use it from 2017, 1st of September, and now, look at it, them who hear matter about rapid drop, just look at the ear them who are going the same way. Go give 18 minutes, matter you use it. Extra kind matter about state of emergency and so. Yeah? Foolishness. Intelligence to use and work with the people them, yeah? You know everything. Don't use heavy-handed tactic. You will never win. You can't win. Me I watch America, #1 thing they forced in the world, and them then in Afghanistan, and for 20 years, spent over like 2 trillion, did not put them nowhere. See the woman now have to start go school and do everything. The same people them are push for the Taliban, them take over back because the government where they run it corrupted. They run with America pull out. Almost 20 years ago there. And if them have all these kind of things and build a power plant and everything, see everything a collapse there through corruption. See? Oh, you tell me about rapid drops and them things. Them people they clear and all and build. And it still not work. Eh? And you come tell me about rapid drops, and if you want this and come with your idea, that's stupid. You think we know about them things, yeah? I tell me about army, man. But look, what's real army, man. I'm told them, some respect and power between parents and Jamaican. In parents, can born in New York. See? Born 1926 in New York. So we know that. Some people say, am I Jamaican? No, I'm born in New York. Parents was Jamaican. See? So respect them, man. And not more army, man. I talk about, I watch every country, I watch all of them things, man. I watch real army, man. I not talk about paper soldier. Not paper army, nothing. We're not stupid. We watch real army, man. I watch all them coordinate them things, and all them drop them things, and all them win wars. You understand? So me know I'm foolishness with this. Foolishness this. Waste some money. Yeah, man.
Uniformly. And if somebody can find me a version that's not that case, well, I'd be glad to hear. But you use extraordinary methods.
Yeah.
And so what we have done and what we did to get this, to get the benefit of extraordinary measures is to carry out our operations in a way that we are working within the law that's available to us, and if the law, if it expands, our tools expand, then we use those. And that's what we did with our states of emergency. Anybody on this platform who is a reporter can remember the calls in Kingston East, remember the calls in Clarendon, and those are some of our areas that immediately we shut it down. Now, because this whole issue of states of emergency have become somehow political issues, I've avoided speaking about it much. And also because it overshadows, because it has been such a public discussion, it overshadows the police work, the investigations, the intelligence work.
That's if you do, not overshadow it and talk about state of emergency. When you take where people rights, and then you have soldiers where you come in because you come from this GUGU Gaga, you're idiot. A man can come step on your thing, you will never hear nothing. That shut off. And if intelligence shut off, you're not gonna win that. When if you go in, man. Oh, them fools, man. Let me tell you this. When America launch war, any one of them country, that UK and place, number one, them drop on battlefield. Have some other man, them get intelligence, by the way. So them know where them, a matter of fact, I'll be a spy and all kind of things. So if you know this, we know about intelligence and we know about war, real war. We don't even know idiot. So when them strike, them know if they strike, them have a man lie down there for 2 weeks, so you don't know in the country before them attack it. You know, so them that them do. When you hear them declare something, you know, they make sure study all when they, because they know how fly over plane and them thing get shot down and them thing. Them start, them work smart. See? So we know them work with intelligence. And them have people on the ground too most of the time when they work with. Them always have a set of opposition thing where them can do some boom, boom, boom and work with and them get access and them do them thing. Them work smart. See? And if you go in a place where they get to hear something and you beat up and do things and that's shut down, you know, have nowhere to go. All they do is just beat up some more people and cause more hatred and grief. You know, go nowhere. Waste some money to say everything. When you're so stupid, I go on like a 8 and Jamaica war. That's stupid. No sense.
The use of technology, this rapidity in which people are following up and responding, it overshadows that.
Yeah.
And it can feed a narrative that suggests that the police and the police officers are not functioning sensibly to what is going on. That is not the case.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with a chronic problem, and even if you take a public health approach to it, there are certain features of that that are very clear. One of the things, when we were dealing with COVID, we quarantined, we isolated, and we prevented gatherings, and there are a number of other things, because the responses that we had related directly to an ongoing situation. An epidemic of violence, according to the UN, is 10 per 100,000. Jamaica has been way beyond that, 4 to 5 times that, sometimes 6 times that for 20 years. And the first time we reached up into the 60s per 100, the 6 times that, was in 2005. And sometimes in the discussion, we don't inform our public of what the truth is. And because we don't do that, it's difficult to get them to move with us to get the better results. So this outreach is part of that process, so that they don't have to hear a filtered version, and that people can ask actual questions and focus on what the problem is. The problem is we have these criminals who are willing to murder people for little or no reason or for money, and we have families willing to murder each other or get somebody to do it over things like property. That is a reflection on the society, and is a reflection of what happens when you allow violence to continue over a 20-year period unabated.
So that's watching and movements and everything.
The methods and the capacity that we build as a force has been applied to the circumstances we find, and so we get gains. Now, they don't happen as fast as we would like. We have every now and again we have a blip, a flare-up, and something that is really shakes the nation, the country. And quite rightly, our media highlights this, and that's what we should do. And then we do what we're doing now, which is to make it clear on what we're doing. Yes, George.
If I may,
sure.
And I wanted to ask a question about states of emergency, taking on politics out of it, because I'm assuming, I'm pretty confident, that when you drew the approach on paper with your team and met with the government to say, well, Prime Minister, this is what we recommend. State of emergency, the operational objectives are these. We're going to have these objectives by these things. I'm confident that the results we're seeing are perhaps less than what you would have anticipated at inception, at the point of ideation, and then implementation. So if I may, if you may know for a couple of why is it that the state of public emergency, this trump card that we were expecting to give us significant influence, there has been progress, not progress that would give the public confidence.
Right, but George, remember, we had the first discussion around whether it's working or not. Those discussions started in the back end of 2018, if you remember. That's when the discussions, was it working or not? By early 2019, that was the case. It is not necessary. All you need to do is some other things. Right. Now, as I said, I didn't want to make this press conference, unfortunately, about the state of emergency, because it has a way of overshadowing all of the other strategies. There is no strategy, no policing strategy that we stopped doing because we had a state of emergency. We realized we had a very chronic and acute problem because we are up at 1,600 plus, and we needed to rapidly bring that down.
So you bring it down? You rapidly bring it down? I need a last year, I need a 1,000, another lockdown around 1,000, need a 1,400, right? Need a 1,500. So in a rapid bring down nothing. So everything it does near the same average between this or to 1,4 add to 1, near to 1,5 or 1,16. So in the rapid, the amount of money with them pumping and them things with them say them pumping, it still not do nothing, have no effect. So you might think it make no sense. You understand? You have to work with the people them if you want to move something from move here, you want to move needle. Be a foolishness. In
2018, I mean, the fact of the matter is, let us just be clear. In 2018, we got in St. James, which had been running at 335 homicides a year, roughly in 2017, dropped to 102. That was 200 plus homicides, and that's what was implemented. Over
200 homicide, but it go up back. And then when it drop, they say because the man them disperse. So them go somewhere else and them commit the murder. So you get it somewhere else in the island. You see, these are the things that them use and tell people, I mean, I said it's crap. Because when you lock up the youth, them and them go like, them go to university. Because on a rehabilitation center, them thing there, them places they don't drink them, but them have a university for criminals. Saying so you go there and if you get peace, you know strong, you get sucking at that, and then you know people from every parish now. So when them lock you up and them have something like this, man, just leave and go St. Elizabeth or Manchester down in a Clarendon, and you see more people are dead down there. So do nothing, and like the same killers, them they're somewhere else, and when look, murder gone up somewhere else. See? And them same one, because them have friends, so them have the space to come power in and continue. See? Them not have no sense. Them intelligence not work with the amount of money because them not work with the people then. That's the problem.
Overall, the country dropped by 22%.
Foolishness.
As soon as we achieved that, it ended. It ended immediately on achieving that. That's a fact. I'm not right. But when you end it like that, it's not so. So the real purpose and only purpose of it is to reduce violence. A lot of discussions have been held around it, that it's crime fighting. Let us separate violence from other crimes. What it does is reduce violence. And also within communities that are high violent communities.
So it reduces violence, right? But it have a correct problem. So if a crime fight, it's not a crime fighting and reduce violence. And the murder you want to drop, can I say drop it, reduce violence. It's not a crime. Yes, a crime fighting. It you use a crime fighting tool. It's stupid again. More back all him want me and him, you back all me and him and me ask him some question. Because he could not ask him. No, come and say, Mr. Man, where do you type yourself? I mean, definitely me have to have some family. In family or something. I tell you, say, I can talk to him and I have even a dozen buckle. And I ask him, I have the dribble of them too, man. And the soda. Take a break, man. See a buckle here, just take a break. And we help you on your soda too. I mean, I'm going to say this, me not even business. But he want him soda. Yeah, and if you don't mind shop, I see me have a little quick business for him. Yeah, man. Come at make no sense. It does not make no sense. Yeah,
if you go in there, talk to the people, there's another feature of it that doesn't arise sometimes.
Yeah, there.
That feature is that
apart from those shootings that hit people and murders that take place, there's an overall calm that those communities experience. And what that
give me a tongue tap because some want you say calm.
Achieving that. That's a fact. I'm not right. But when you end it like that, it's not so. So the real purpose and only purpose of it is to reduce violence. A lot of discussions have been held around it, that it's crime fighting. Let us separate violence from other crimes. What it does is reduce violence. And also within communities that are high violence communities, if you go in there, talk to the people, there's another feature of it that doesn't arise sometimes. That feature is that apart from those shootings that hit people and murders that take place, there's an overall calm that those communities experience. And what that calm means, much less shootings that don't hit anyone. Now, the shootings that don't hit anyone aren't recorded. They don't become part of the statistics. But they're very much a reality of people's lives in those communities.
I mean, the reality of people live in those communities. You should the reality of people live in those communities. If there's all over the place attack some things, I mean, I understand. This are the $18 million man we then give you.
Decision on whether an old person sleeps on a bed or under a bed. Those are the decisions we're making. And I cannot see why the work done.
He might think, but him tie up himself. He don't know what to answer. Why I cannot, that baby just learn to talk, and then he don't know where I say the work done. Where the work done come in at the question where the man asks. And if I think where I talk about I going on a beat and I try to lang out something make him look more stupid. You understand? Because him not answer prompting.
And the fact that these people within the community get this benefit, why we would stop it. That is, but I mean, I want to bring us back to what we're talking about.
To bring us back.
So the innovations, the technologies, you don't get results, you don't put them in place and get results the next day. It's a process of building capacity. It's modern technology, modern police techniques, it is responsiveness. These things give you incremental reductions over time. Now, just as a point, I mean, last year, I think in 2019, Belize's homicide rate went up, went down 24% last year. They implemented states of emergency. I'm just saying, something people can do research on and look at.
So if I follow what they implement state of emergency, don't follow Belize. You understand? You're the policing. It's a foolishness. Yeah.
In no way, and we make it clear, hinging everything we do on this. They don't solve these cases that Mr. Bailey spoke about. They are not the ones where we work with our overseas partners to get convictions in the U.S. for people who are affecting crime in Jamaica.
But if I work with the part of them we attack, I mean, about burn them. You see them all, you see U.S. them, all the woman, the police woman, and some of the people, and some of the big guys, and some of the police. You know, have shoot to look get a youth. Never shoot nobody in a uniform, but them all themselves don't. Not for one in a car key, them a come for next. I can't tell you, and I promise you that. When I soon say about someone want to retire, each up that one like an idiot. Wait, man, you think you can hide that set? You know what on, man? Yeah, man.
They are not, the states of emergency don't do that. All it does is create less deaths in the communities where you have those sorts of problems. All of the public order matters. The crime matters. The fact that we have a 46% reduction in road fatalities and all that. All of that is just effort by the police.
Effort, you see, when them a program at about road fatality, look how them fool now. You have highway 2000. You know, it's a foolish system talk. If you have a small country, right? And then you are you have a dual carriageway right now, and them want put it in a 4-lane. Them want turn it in a highway, 4-lane, right? So you know, so you have more. If you have crashes, and you're going to have crashes, you can't have the pace. Even planes still have a drop. The statistics show say when them dropping all 400 people at one time, but that even less accident with the plane more than where you'd have per road because you have crashes. Like you have different season in the state and all about. You know, you people say book back because them know it happen. Check up your weed, check up this. They matter about that them and make this happen and this. When you look, when you see crashes, oh, we are cut down this because everything they come out of speeding and not go say no. Sometimes the road where China build it not build good. So it must show up. Sometimes when you're living at the pathway, so you're dropping at some sinkhole in your community where you live inside it, eat off the inside of the thing, make it soft. So you drive on a, when you look at your thing blow, you drive on a highway, blow. I do carriage card it on a highway in there. See? It blow or something happen. Anything can happen. Then you can't get soon start get piled up or you have them 4 things they can get piled up. See? So the police them can just stop these things from happening. It happen. You're the pan road. You're the pan road that galang something happen. You understand? So they must say, well, this and that are the state of emergency make this cut. Stop on the foolishness. They see them up here one about him name Ken boy one name about him one for National Road Safety Council, then they move. Waste some money. A friend them a waste and give money. This is a foolishness. Him for resign long time, he shouldn't even dead. When him resign, you shake him and push a buckle in his mouth. Make sure you have your formula. You understand? Yeah, man. Watch out.
Technologies that we have implemented and the use making of the additional assets. Those assets lead to better cases, more convictions, higher clear-up rates, more responsiveness on the road, ability to manage corridors where criminals may use, and create an environment where between the commission of a crime and being caught and being in custody and doing this is much shorter. So that's it's we're a national police force, and therefore there's no policing matter in the country that we don't deal with. So homicides, terrible, significant, a big area of focus, but not the only.
Homicide, terrible, significant area of focus. But that coming at the same argument for a while. Terrible, significant, where am I saying? You see it? You say one thing and
people need to feel safe walking in their communities. When you call about a laptop stolen, we can respond. We need to give good service.
Oh, yeah, I said this, but you still have but a ferry now no car, enough more places now no car. We don't even distribute the car, we don't have the car them and make the man them carry them home. We don't even distribute them fairly. See? You have enough man that's smuggling in the car. I not thought they had mark car them, you know. I thought the car, the mark car. Every station supposed to have a car. Every. And have even 2 or 3 or even 4 cars. And enough station we have. So, okay. We have 100, we have like 200 station now. We have 100 art station. You have 100 art station, right? So, if you have 200 station and you get a car, 200 car, much car we have? The other day, them buy must have 400 and add. Different from what we did that before, you know. See? And how much bike. So if you have 190 station and 190 that station. So we only have 200, we don't have 200. So each station, if you have, you know, so we make aim to 1,000. And each of them station and even at 3 and then 2 and the other a station them more and them will put one. Plus we did that before. Because we have fleet we still use. See? We buy up some things that are there. I will buy things before and buy things before. I don't know what happened to them. Every station can have a car. If you have 1,000 car, I mean, every station can get. You leave the bigger station. If it's 200 and you have 800 car, every station can get too much car. Every station can get 2, 4, 8, 4 car. 4. But tell me what, we have less than 200 stations. And some big station could I get even more. See, if you have 1,000 vehicles, and we have more than 1,000 vehicles, we're not even ask. Because we could keep on fixing them buy more and put to the fleet. Them can't trick up. They said no most of them man say no man one bag of food this. The guide politician and the judiciary system and them thing, them use around 500 and add policemen. Yeah. One politician, I get seven car deep, 7. When a whole community will have more than maybe 40,000 people, don't have 1 car. We serve like more than 40,000 people. You have 1 car, but you have served 1 man. 7 different cars with a bag of man. I follow him up and down. That makes sense in a third world country. Just watch it. Yeah, man.
At a police station when somebody comes. All of those things matter. So in the process of transformation and changing the organization, building a back end that can support all of this, and developing a police force that not only the members can be proud of, but Jamaica can be proud of, is a process. It's not just about murders, although that is a big focus of ours. Okay.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Don't want to say that. Don't want to say that. Yeah, the man never want to say. Man never want to say last piece.
Okay, the question was about the plane crash. I didn't quite get it.
The plane crash, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, we've had discussions with also with our overseas partners and law enforcement that operate in the region about this plane. It wasn't destined for Jamaica. We do know that it's a Mexican registration plane. That the
one thing is that carry off some drop off some money and then move again. But anyway,
pilots on board, as far as we know, has been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It had full of...
It has a real cargo on board, but it has cargo, don't it? You hear what I say?
Effort by the police, technologies that we have...
Move on now. Wow, the cargo. Yeah, yeah, somebody.
We do know that it's a Mexican registration plane, that the pilots on board, as far as we know, and has been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It has a profile that, is suspicious, and we are following up. We actually...
It has a profile, it's suspicious. The most suspicious, all right. A plane now destined to Jamaica, like what I'm saying. Foolishness. You know, destined to Jamaica, me fly a private jet, X amount of money for me jet people. And me getting a problem, me go read Jamaica. Me have people come fix me thing by this, Me not run, me I want to go to hospital. So me I wait for the authority to come and then me go to hospital. But you leave the plane and not come back feet and nothing at all. And you tell me about when they have nothing. Right? Or them come and say them have nothing to look fine out. So it clean and what have you. Can't wait to carry already. Can't wait to carry already. And a matter of fact, wait carry or wait come pay off. The plane a little bit of nothing. We can't lose a plane there. See? And if it registered, so why the man them not come feet because everything that innocent. I drop it, drop. A plane, your plane I go down in our country. You're back for me and then, make sure you're all right and you crash land, then, people come in, go look on the plane and take the plane and everything up. The government to government, even if it's a private citizen, and get out the plane and you're good, but the plane velocity and nothing else. See something wrong. A big boys, them, man. And then they might take off idiot. But everything I come out in a Joe season, man. I know I don't fly the plane. Yeah.
Know who were flying it, and we're actually, this is part of a transnational set of investigations that are taking place. I don't want to go into too much more detail about it, but the plane itself, it just crashed. It wasn't actually, as far as we're aware, carrying any particular goods. Let me just thank members of the media and the people who joined us on our various platforms. And just to say, by way of closing, and I have to do this, I want to do it, really, is that in December, you know, when we talk about a surge, or when people talk about let's just put more people out there, we are very finite. We have been operating with far below our establishment, and we've gone through a process of trying to build that back up. Now, COVID interrupted that, but we have learned to live with it. And so over the next year, we should be able to increase the number of police officers we have. We have a long list of people who wish to join. And as we do the changes in the force and people become more, they see more of what we do in these engagements, I suspect that number will grow even more. But a surge is a word. I mean, we do it, it's an operation that you're doing. But what it really means is over December into this month, that our officers don't go home. It means that on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Clarendon and captured him. But largely, the presence on the road means that those officers aren't enjoying their holidays and all that. Now, I don't want sympathy for our officers. Our officers do that because that's what they're committed to. But as the police commissioner, I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there, they were deployed, they were doing what they need to do. They recognize the challenge that could come out of the killing that took place. So something just came in from the side. And just a note here that, no, let me do this at the end. Just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen, just a point, they asked me to note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around or a video about something that happened downtown today. It was a voice note. It hasn't actually happened. Is this to do with some shootings and so on that actually didn't happen? But that kind of broke what I was saying. So
film the system can concentrate it broke away massive one little piece of ice note. Because we matter copy a poop. Nothing at all in the circle no make sense and nothing. Nothing. And just say, you know, want you to tell the police them nothing, right? You know, have to say nothing to them because he may talk to them. Here we must say right as no.
Let me come back to it. And really, it's really, as Commissioner, to thank my members, the police who go out there day and day for doing the work you do. It's, you know, and I have to do it. And you know, one of the things, and I'll just share this quickly. If you want to know something that I would find helpful. Now, for persons who know a police officer who's in the JCF, if you know one or you've seen one who has done something that you thought was noteworthy or good, or just maybe a family member, maybe whoever, if you could if you could just contact them and say, hey, thanks, then...
If you tell them thanks and them just say, you know, if you tell them thanks, you may do it. When I hear him, I play back. Then they know it come in and him forgot everything when to backside. Look at here.
That number will grow even more. But a surge is a word. I mean, we do it. It's an operation that you're doing. But what it really means is over December into this month, that our officers don't go home. It means that on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Clarendon and captured him. But largely, the presence on the road means that those officers aren't enjoying their holidays and all that. Now, I don't want sympathy for our officers. Our officers do that because that's what they're committed to.
Him just say no one sympathy for the officer. So me listening good. And we can just rewind back to him, say, he no want a sympathy. He may do it. Then he might tell you to do it down there. So just listen.
But as the police commissioner, I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and the work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there.
Look.
They were deployed. They were doing what they need to do. They recognize the challenge that could come out of the killing that took place. So something just came in from the side. And just a note here that, no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let's do it now. Okay, so we have seen, just a point, they asked me to note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around, or is it video about something that happened downtown today. It was a voice note. It hasn't actually happened. Is this to do with some shootings and so on that actually didn't happen? But that kind of broke what I was saying. So let me come back to it. And really, it's really, as commissioner, to thank my members, the police who go out there day and day for doing the work you do.
Someone thank them.
It's, and I have to do it. And one of the things, and I'll just share this quickly. If you want to know something that I would find helpful.
Aye.
Now, for persons who know a police officer who's in the JCF, if you know one or you've seen one who has done something that you thought was noteworthy or good, or just maybe a family member, maybe whoever, if you could just contact them and say, hey, thanks, then perhaps that could assist me in going a long way in getting them to continue to push.
It does have to say no I do it. I tell you say in a way must be one piece of note. That's why I do. That's why I do the tune in GUGU Gaga. When I joke me I make no $18 million man this, I may have things I play with him, but I don't care. I show so with because right now he make all my head I kind of hurt me, but I have to try to show the kind of person who this we have as a commissioner instead of some real police where beat on foot, real police. This a joke, an embarrassment. And the man and the easy. Where am I get $18 million for? In car allowance alone, I had done a constable pay. What are the ones? And I can't pay. Eh? Man, sit on the same night in a work with us come out and chat foolishness. Right now, them have give him the little turtle for when they talk and they listen to it. And them have radar people when them talk to him, can't take the whole of them down and be just run to it. The other day then come out, them talk about how much gun them bury and how much turn our son. That mad. Let me tell them I'm gonna be able to self, man. I'm going for one of the biggest bulldozers in Jamaica, like one of the backside bulldozer. Put police on it, them dig up sand. So if you need come from here, I know these kind of things. And outright I see them there too, So you are gonna put on your gun and draw too much ton of sand on that. So if you have somebody that want to kill you or you reach for that and you're up on the road where everybody can see you dig up and reach that don't make no sense. So when them come with them big bulldozers and boat at this and that, them do that when them they want man because them that try distract people and say, yeah, we want to do this and so we are get some work. Nah work. It's stupid. You understand? That's why you see GUGU, me say time stop call up now. So you say me have a video for do. And that video you may do for you, GUGU. That's true now.
Yo, government! You know it's very illegal to employ a baby to do big people job. You know that's very silly and mad. Hear this!
Look on the podium.
You have some baby, them a walk used to crib. Go around poor, them a try to make big spill. Get a piece of paper and figure where them a spill. Them a stutter and about me a feel laugh in me wig. I talk about fit and come a talk about it. I talk about come a call this shit. Baby sentence to write it never yet complete. Baby can you need to feed him a rock him to the big or some gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga. Why you say please baby in a big people job? When people are them down place and get robbed, baby don't know the difference from dagger. I'm happy wonder if the administration man them the practically don't make way in a sponsor of baby make what it look like a distant ladder. You love sweet bird and Mr. Crabber. Squad them with metaphors like Moses running on some gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga. I do not open up everybody eyes. People get them to them laugh till cry. They just stop like him don't tired in the year. Where my son would not care what we try. Him a tabo fish and then him tabo sky. Tabo woman with drunk cover and fly. You ask him good question him give you stupid reply. You understand this baby not care how we try. Him go so gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga. You have some baby them a walk used to grip. Go round for jump try to make big spills. Get a piece of paper and pick up with them a say. Them a stutter and about me a feel laugh till me wake. Them a talk about friends and then a talk about it. Talk about come and call it shit. Baby sentence to write it never yet complain. You been and you need to feed him a rock him to sleep and go so gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga
You can't place baby in a big people job. When people are dead and place I get robbed, baby don't know the difference from dog and hog. For one day this administration mad. Them say Patrick are the dumbest way in a SpongeBob, but baby make Patrick look like a decent lad. Now he'll up Squidward and Mr. Crab and scold him with metaphors like Moses rod, you know. He goes say gugu gaga gaga gugu gaga. You see me I say, you have some baby used to walk, you know. Where walk used to creep, go around the podium. I try to make big speech. Get a piece of paper and forgot where they must speak. They must stutter and but me have to laugh till my week. You see it? You don't see it for yourself? All right. 100% real tune. I don't look at one around here. Real tune. Yeah, man. Been in a foolishness. Them man have to leave the job and give real police. The police to the job. Because the man him contradict himself. You know why you say not to the police, but yet still he might tell you when you say a police does. And it make him work easier. Then him come say one bad thing and fluidity. And not all when it makes sense. And me have several videos me if play them right now. When me done, me no know. Yeah man, that mash up my stomach. Me I forgot, yeah man, I mash up all of my heads and my mates. So me not gonna play no more rhyme right now. Because I have something lined up that me not gonna play no more rhyme. Yeah man. You see me I say? But this, the $18 million, it not worth it, people. It not worth it. A man I feel let go on, man. Make police throw up that thing, man. It not worth it, man. You see me I say? This is a foolishness. Yeah? That's why they might try to move people, feed them a speech, and you say, little that one might run out. And I run go all about, go take up people. Mine, you know, because one of them might be rich, you know. I remember feds know about it, you know. So be careful. I want to can't hide that set. I don't remember this. I remember say, enough of the youth them want to use some in Canada, in America, in the UK, the youth them and get wise up on a set up and kill out enough of them and take with them things and do all kind of things. So the youth them get wise up, them the trust on now. Yeah. And send me some of them go to prison. So the youth them start making buy them out. Them then are the foolishness. Too much too much criminal. You understand? And then you have some other little one with infantry to not carry, and then the good police them get stifled. Go and clear that. Yeah. You see me as apps? We are keep it real, man. Google for move, man. Go resign or do something. Look here. Just the man car alone, him have car, you know. And then if you mean the country, go you love the country where you could have scrape. He said, no, me have car, me just come sit under the space, me not do nothing. The man them carry out the job, and me just stay and me just go at the function, them and talk big. Yes, the force is doing this. You're not doing one thing. Big money finance something, they wanna run out, come speak, when I'm Bailey. Come on, leave the man find things to come talk, man. At the commander in the ear, not even him, but make sure the man them all them do the thing we want to hear from them too. So people can see them and know who do the work. No, commander, get the stripe for the division. Take the stripe and them run for the stripe. And then if something bad, then push out them one, and them do it, you know, and them go rob, and them do this. You see something good now, you money, we look them run up. You can't talk, and you go make the raid. Anything will look big and it okay. When you look Mr. Crab and the one of them run out. Number one, him not support him and the police. Him supposed to run out so for something happen. Stay in your ministry man and do your thing and make sure support the police, make them get them thing. The police will be a separate entity. You know what soon enough every minute. Me not see that in nowhere at all over the world. None. It will stop foolishness. Yeah, man. You will tell them the truth, you know. Well, I can't tell them the truth. Not even Trinidad, because Gary Griffith was the national security minister. What him do? What him do at the time? Him putting thing in place. But him know you can't cross with the commission and them thing there. So them not that interference. So when do leave politics and apply for the commissioner job. But they can't go look it up. So them turn commissioner now, him say, okay, and when I do interview, him say it, I want them to play it, I make a hearing. Him say, true, you know, say you cannot cross. So him do know and put in the things them we want for change. But them not busy about a politician can go after them. The other day them do, you know what them do? Them rather don't renew him contract for move him. Can go after any one of them in no business. You understand? Look how we are pay $18 million for man. $18 million man. Eh? For what? To them, yeah? We sick in our head. And them thing over for burnout. Meanwhile, people are hungry now, kind of thing. Go around and pour them one little piece of paper, lose their meds. And then otherwise, the fluidity and one bag of foolishness, I don't even understand it. Eh? And then the reporter, they were asked, can you me in? Because in front of him, let me tell you this. If in front of me, I'm Mr. Boom Boom, I'm say about commish, same way I talk about, you know, GUGS, Sir GUGS. But you just say, you know what, I was saying to the police, then, oh, you say, if you tell them, thank you. But you just say you will deal with that. You know what? No, you know, no sympathy for the police, them none. So by you say that in a couple, not even a minute after, less than a minute, you tell me to tell it, see them, if you know them, to tell them thanks, I make it easier for you. Can you just say, yeah, mix up what you say, you know, stop do that mix up thing, the man. See? Man, for step down, man. You see me, I say? The man for step down. No, but on a serious note, this is a foolishness. So these are the things that me put in a highlight and put in a place. I don't business. See? Me can look on the commission tell about, you know, this and that and about, you know, may I get this and number one, them tell about our camera. You see the camera them are now? And if the pen thing, like, you might think that some Dallas thing or some kind of thing there by. Eh? Foolishness the man them attack, man. You understand? He contradict himself all the time, man. He contradict himself like a million times on one thing when I talk. And then blup, 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 and GUGU, and Sir GUGS and beer things. And them have him, them try to make him look good. Yo, them have to write out and give him and say, don't come off a script. If him ever come off a script, you see, no car, no crash and mash up, so. Can you come off a script all the time, you know? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Up, man. See? Up. You see me I say? If I'm up. Yeah, man. See? So you have to show them and tell them who are real police. You say if real police come up to the rank and file and go through the separation and you read up there, you could say, okay. But you cannot push and raise them money for much. Remember, you know, out there, you know, it's not a private sector thing, this, you know. A public purse appears, you know. But they have this big money thing in a little country where it has to go, can't feed the people. Sin. A sin. But for one accountable. There, you know. Keep it real here. Later, I say me the one carry me Lucian and concert. I carry it because I have remember say me have Downbeat for interview. Me have Freddie Cougar. Me have the one of the man. I remember say yeah, back of the Giants I come fast. Hey, the one eyes on the file at trouble, you know. Get the one eyes on the file at the team. Eyes on the file. I tell them about look at Nasty Juba. Who criminal Nasty Juba and Nasty Shirley. No man, them they're all booty man. All booty them man. You look the man them they easy, you know. You can't avoid people them keep something and then you take them liquor and then you wanna resell it. You not do all kind of little thing it them think that criminality man. And go on a ball and drunk and when them keep them on you have to go and show your face. Not me. I know about the people, none of that. See? When you look the youth, them, the man will go if you not go and go show your face, and if you are doing anything, you lock off, or you can't get nothing. So you have to show your face and support it out of the station. When you look, you won't have keep a working at station. So people, that's not supposed to work. And then when you look now, they make up and go do, out there now, them want to go do. What them did want to do? A dancer, one of them club thing. I say, hey, if you never open a club up there, so then change their mind. Them go on until they move, Shirley, because Shirley, you know, like they have some ears on the ground. I make me know say one police car and next man and talk about the one loan sub. Because them have rum cup with Shirley face on it, you know. The one loan sub, which they also him because it make the people them start cut eye off of Shirley. And they're fat. That remember me as the Pentagon, you know. Yes, when police, you shoot your man because people are cut eye and this and that and all kind of things. And then they call to him again. You can't do this. Take away the youth laptop. They never thought the youth not get back in laptop. Them just go shut it and take it away. We up in a bush. Eh? Around 1 month before them go give him a little paper, that this should have dash way and them should have get charged for it. Because them take people thing and not give you back a 1 month, 2 months, and then them take it and then go sell it. We look, Juba and sister sell weed, the most weed, and you lock up people for your last place. You idiot. I forgot upon a jag about him and say, but him sister sell weed. So by me, come out for the radio, them go make radio on there. Because they don't know me to ramp it up. You can't do it. Let me tell you, don't play with man. Don't play with me. See? But if you know where I go in that place. See, and then pressure the youth, them for nothing at all. And tell lie too. You have some good police in there, but them good police, they will charge if you have them have something to charge them reason with it and then tell you why. So the people them love them. Surely them make sure transfer the whole of the good police them. Be a mongrel and leave up there. Be a mongrel. Including Nasty Juba. Well, my DC now gonna rest still. You understand? And then, if you born a go in a place, you just turn a DC, you never get proper training. And then when you do that now, and you come out to the force, I see people, them and then you so you're 15 back. When you make so much enemy. Get me in a place, I'm telling a DC now, me have to make sure my place all right. And think me not bad them up. I show them who right and thing. And me can sit down and talk to the youth. I not bad them up. You see youth, but you don't know me. Where me know you're from? Them love that little thing, they love that little baby and they think they dead film, that take up your own robin thing and then go sell it and all them think that criminality, you know. Be a taxation and thing, and me have to put a dent on them and me and them up there, because me never put them, you know. Me go up all on the station, you know. After me come off a rail, me just go burn them and them. I lie you tell me to cut people out of my place. When the youth come check me for your money. It's a youth who do farming, you know. He sell me things over, it's a youth, party. He sell me things, I want banana and $900 for the bunch. When I sell $300 to some other people, me uncle laugh. See, but I buy it, I support them, you know. Because them do them farming, them go get them yam, them farm, them thing, but them sell me, because food me eat, you know. They eat my gun provision and them thing. They say, I'm rather, you know, support them still. And then you come and my store and me give them something for trust me not. They can't pay me, allow them still. And when artists come, then they make money from artists and everything same way. So me good, you know, you try to help them out the way they so me good. Things from you do something positive, me help you out. And I see them do that with me, I say, yeah, them me laugh. Now if you leave me the just attack, I say, you have some good fun, but I them play with themselves. Me mention it, because me no analyze, me no see them too. Yeah, mistake. If you watch you digital attack when the two little guy was said him not even shit pan shot tail. Said him attack a bag of crap. You know, me just melt them up and when me walk away and bowl as a loan some, you know, use me. I said the next time go for Blair and the other one when them all and them people they make me just melt them up. You can't carry them two idiot, the two clown man. You can't carry two Eklan Jekyll come put together, man. embarrass themselves, man. Go for them two, they make me melt them up for you. You understand? Young boy and I said, boy, loan some, you know, easy, you know. Walk with them. Cause them you there pray going to bathroom in a TV job pray for me and I pray to God and you go in there hear them. I make with devour, oh Father God, please make with them alone on this show. Who they fat? Them I know, and them one word can you listen what them are saying and be a crap them attack to. But Google beat them still. See? Yeah man. So when me born Shirley and criminal Juba, yeah, when I burn them out, them, when me go up at the station, can them come take with the youth them from the thing, and tell lie me I tell. In the road, them costed the man. The youth have but listen, if me even have a machete from my veranda, you can't come to my place, come take up the machete and thing and charge nobody, sir. It's legal. Can't look about me yard from my veranda then the way, cutting to my yard, where come to my yard for. See, none of man said lie me I tell. This is how me know same like and wicked and dangerous and terrible. So we have yeah man, you have to buckle them man. So me go up, me drive go up there and go for the youth them. Man, after me done buckle them and them say lie, I tell you me call up there. Say lie, you tell me I've cost to the man in the road, me say so you lie. You know man, can you imagine what you do to get up people pitney for you in the khaki clothes? What if you take you out of me? I'll take you out of this man. So me and them buckle. Straight big buckle to your eyes on the file. Me not gonna put them. So when them come and go like me say I'm for that to talk to me that be about when me buck you. And I check me pop me enemy to enemy Jamaica. Boy, I'm going to say and boy, you know, I tell you this. Search you up the station. Yeah, man, you hide on the name, man. You for show your face and chat to me when you see me not like this. Me stay like oh me stay. Everybody will know me. Knows that somebody say me all right. Where you cross me get from 0 to 100. So me not pretend. So like somebody will come tell and say, boy, doing some your man him stay. So no care you see me no you're a punk. Me can't tell you that you're a punk. See? So when me drive up at the station, yeah, when me drive up at the station, say, good morning, Luansa. Like, morning. You know, see Juba. Good morning, Luansa, morning. Drive out the Hilux, man. You're police to me. Luansa, the two of them are pussy, you know. That's all right. Me not deal with them. Me not deal with them. Can you see what them do? They sit down for my name. Yeah, man. And me and them in a one bag of things. And when them do one bag of bad things, you know what I mean? Me not ramp with them to expose them. So I mean them are fine. Yeah, man, and them are man, but me and them, because me not ramp with them in. They are talking about me make a pan like a bad bull, man. You that then said them are gonna do one cut and all kind of things. And me are here. Show me the deal, man. Because when the police about the station call that man, then I chat. Me here. What you think me not here? Them feel me like the one doing some. Them can't go and chat and call me. Them me say. Me is up on the gun, me ear. The ear where I say, even when I'm in there, I say, turn on the country. Let me see what one time I say now. The time I show the say, stop watch me in my ear, me I call him name. Them get all scared and fire, the woman will clean up the place. But no man never talk yet, man. Eh? I said, one time I know too much thing in this. So, not fair to go mad, man. No sense. And me and them up at that, man. Be a thing them go on with, you know. Be a idiot thing, you know. You can't be police and do criminal act front of me, man. And me, I own man. What you talk about, man? It's like alone some of the police up there. Yeah, man. My brother, Judah Mervin, rest in peace, brother. Yeah? Yeah, the police and thief in the street. Me never put them, man. You understand? Me never put them. From man, I just me this. I mean that. Yeah, man. I mean that eyes on the fire. So me never put nasty job of them. And show them, you know. Because you see, no man can make no man put out any except for the man that build the house. Back up some people and then every and the 30 can tell life and the man nearly make a man dead in there and be that thing going with. Eh? Man, them work on the house. Can't have no wife and wife put you out and have some little young boy. You know, they do. Same way I do it. You know, some man, let me tell you what happened, man. You have some man got trained on a weight, man, and stop take on the tongue and turn it in a cannibal, man. Because someone a cannibal, you know. We think them say you have some people back in the days that's cannibal, but them man you turn cannibal same way. You know, cannibal. So, you know, so you turn cannibal and maybe, you know, sometimes them wife now, you know, the cannibalism, so you know, them draft turn cougar instead. Wife them turn cougar and draft a younger mate, you know. You see, it at them head to the man take it out by every young youth. Them to stop it, man. See, stop it. Man, stop it. You see where size on the file? Yeah, man. And then when I start the criminal act now, up there the boy they were kill him wife. I want to see them. Me never get mad, you know. Nobody no go free me yesterday. The man them out for the flat go free him. The boy try to get where. I'm if I carry the series, I'll show you how him kill him woman at foreign and tell line get 400,000, change his name and come to Jamaica. See? And all of the people have called me and said, thank you, Mr. Lonesome, card that and that. The boy I try to get to after them shoot him. I go for much money. What them do after that? What them do after that? Yeah, man. What them do after that? I said, yeah, man. Some man them to stop it, man. Them are going like the man, of course, them turn cannibal. Them to tap it, man. Yeah, man. Them need to stop it, man. You see what I say? I see them need to stop it. Yeah, man. See? So he might try to get to and run go down this and them catch him that bag of money and try to wait for boat to get away. So come kill Jamaican and get away. Them kind of way. They win a foolishness. Enough case my boss, you know. Because someone no get money and sit down and not lock up who them are lock up. So you see, them have the bad one, them have upload some coming and kind of the foolishness. So I mean I work I do police work for them, you know. Them now the police work, you know. Some man do something and protect and collect. Like I showed the other day, like the chief from the show in the US, bought him at the best thing money can buy, the best law enforcement. You know, thing gone for 11 years old. Yeah, man. No man, we have to stop them, man. No man, stop where you say, man. No man put them, man, and solve case to man. You see me, I say? Yeah, man. Them alone, me I challenge them, hey, me down pan them like bad bull, you know. Yeah, them don't know me, you know. Them think so, okay, me could go fight and loan, so me could go this and that. That time I run background. And me I say, kind of corruption and all kind of things. And them no know. And me I say, look at them no know. Say, okay, me have the whole media. And me know, me stand firmer than with them believe, because them no know that. So say, okay. That's why I'm cool and just go and catch them. And me I get me information, pan them, you know. And them no know, you know. Them things say them are police, me are more police than them. Me are more detective than them. And I ask them. Because everywhere they move, you know, me have ears on the ground. So if them do so, if them go in a go drink from me know. If them do this, if them collect from who and who them collect from, me can give them name, time and date and everything. Store it up on them. And see the whole corruption and all them on it and say, okay. All right. Uno, and me and Uno up in this, you know. Yeah, man. Because Uno no police. And that's how we have badge and gun. When you look him at black up you together one lock up it and your sister. Did I say weed round there, you idiot? I said the most weed on the take. When me chat man then go weed round there to man. Yeah man, me no ramp man. So yeah, we not destroy the people, but we not hey, we not for years on self man. Yeah man. So and me and them back up like that man. Me no ramp with them man. You understand? Me have broke off them criminality till they move it. And sell it down at the bottom. See them selling it in a country. So me look there. I'm gonna say, oh, that me I say, hold on, hold on there. Hey, people don't want a little put. Wanna make sure when they see that new one they come down, anything I want to video it and send, come give me, you know, cause me I wait for video, you know. Well, no make no bad move down there as long as it you did the each up on the piece of force, you know. I remember I could have run other things, you know, from St. Mary, you know. All right, so you hear me? All right. So we know who promote you. I make you reach where you reach. Bent, lady bent. You understand? So you can stay there. And we know what ledge where you're doing and send Mary to you know. Okay. So you can stay there. That's why I say you can't play with a lonesome. You stay there. See? So you burn down the place. and contraband did miss out of the way out of the storeroom. Okay, be careful. Me done chat. Me there here, loan some up here. All right, bless.